This is The Sending, a podcast by Mission Church in Morganton, North Carolina. Our aim is to demonstrate how the gospel sheds light into every area of our lives and how knowing this enables bold, faithful mission for Christ's kingdom. Hey everybody, welcome back to this next episode of The Sending. I'm here with a special guest today. This is Wes Jones.
Hey.
Wes is a member of Mission Church, and we're going to have a little bit different conversation today. Looking forward to that. But thank you guys for tuning back in and joining us today on The Sending. Wes, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Wes.
That about does it for this episode.
There it is. As you said, we've been coming here to Mission Church for about a year and a half. So my wife, Melanie, and our four boys, Brennan, Jasper, Henry, and Ollie. And we love it here. I think the first day we came, it felt like home, felt like the place we were supposed to be, and here we are now. And I'm on The Sending.
Yeah,
I've made it.
Made it to the big leagues. So give us a little bit of background. You and your family were on the mission field. Tell me a little bit about what that was like and what you guys were doing.
Yeah, short version. We could go for hours here, but so we were in Colorado for about 6 years, and I worked for an organization in mobilization, sending singles and families overseas. That was my job, sending others, but had always dreamt and desired to be overseas myself, and so that was something that I had for a couple of decades. And for me, it was China. That was where I was supposed to go and serve and until I passed away. That was the goal. Short version. We after about 10 years of marriage, and we had just had our fourth child, Ollie, and my wife was in a different space and could think and think about what was beyond having children, and we talked about going overseas and prayed about it, and then finally headed to China. And worst time ever to head to China. We landed there in the fall of 2019, and so,
oh wow.
So we were there for about 6 months, and then left for a conference, and the world shut down with COVID, and we were stuck outside of China and never went back. And so pivoted and finished out our last couple of years in Southeast Asia, and loved our time there, but felt called to head back home, and so we did in the fall of 23. And,
okay.
Short version.
Yeah. No, yeah. And we are going to have you probably back on at some point to just talk about missions, because I know that we've got some things kind of brewing in the background, and it's always fun to talk to you about those kind of things and talk about just casting vision and what does it look like to be a people that, sends people. Yeah, you like that? All right, so to get the ball rolling, we're going to start with a little game, and this is kind of like a quiz for you. This is Two Truths and a Lie Bible edition.
Oh.
So I'm going to give you some Bible characters, and I'm going to read 3 statements about the character.
Okay.
And you have to try to identify the lie.
Oh.
And your membership at Mission Church hinges upon how many of these you get right. All right, we'll start with a relatively easy one.
Okay.
Give you a little softball action.
All right.
I should introduce the game like I do all our other games. This is Biblical Two Truths and a Lie. All right, first character we have to look at is Moses. So Moses, here's 3 statements about Moses, and see if you can identify the lie. Moses said he wasn't a good speaker. Moses killed an Egyptian and fled into the wilderness. And Moses called down fire on the golden calf that Aaron had raised.
The third one is a lie.
Moses called down fire on the golden calf?
Yes.
That is correct.
Yes.
Yeah. The original answer was a little too easy, and I was like, I need to like say something about the golden calf because
Because it is. It is.
Moses was upset about that, but
Yes,
Elijah called
very.
down fire on the
Right.
All right, David, man after God's own heart. David refused to kill Saul even when he had the chance. He wrote every psalm in the Bible, and he danced publicly, sans clothing, in worship.
I'm gonna say. Okay. All right. See, I don't think he danced publicly.
Is that your final answer?
No, it's the Psalms. It's the second one.
It is the Psalms. He did dance publicly.
Okay.
Different translations will say whether or not it says he was undignified. It says
There
that
it is.
I
was about to say undignified.
Yeah. I'm sure that's what you're about to say. All right. Jonah is our next character.
Okay.
He tried to run from God by getting on a ship. He preached in Nineveh for 40 days, and Jonah was swallowed by a great fish.
I'm going to say the middle one. The second one, I mean, not the middle.
Okay. Explain.
I can't just give an answer.
Is this a guess? I'm curious. Is this a guess just because you're like multiple choice?
Yes,
I'm good at like
it is just a guess.
I just got to call it out. I thought this one would trip you up, but yeah, true or false and multiple choice on tests. I was always a good guesser. It was like not a good indication of whether or not I studied. He proclaimed a message about 40 days of judgment, but Scripture doesn't say that he preached that for 40 days.
Exactly. That's why I said the second one.
Man, you're on it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's just do like two more here. We'll do Samson.
Okay, I was hoping we would get Samson. Right.
Yeah. Samson killed a lion with his bare hands. Samson lost his strength permanently after his hair was cut. Samson used a donkey's jawbone as a weapon.
Okay. You said he lost his strength permanently.
Correct.
It grew back, so I'm saying that one.
His strength grew back or his hair grew back?
His hair grew back. And the strength.
Both are correct. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Yeah. All right. I'll let you choose. Do you want to do Paul or Noah?
Oh man. Let's do Noah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noah took 2 of every animal on the ark. Noah sent out a dove to check for dry land. Noah built the ark in obedience to God.
First one.
Okay, that's a little too much of a freebie if you watched the last episode of the podcast.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
What did I miss?
He didn't take 2 of every animal? No, you got it right.
No. 2.
I'm just presupposing that you cheated.
I didn't. No. I just knew that one was
okay.
the correct answer.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's do Paul just for kicks and giggles.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Paul was present at Stephen's execution. Paul wrote letters from prison. Paul's name was Saul before Jesus changed it.
Oh man. The second one then. He was present at Stephen's execution. Okay. All right.
Paul's name was still Saul after he just referred to himself as Paul.
All right. Yeah.
This is a widely it's almost like the Mandela effect. Like there's any indication of Scripture where he changes his name to Paul after he gets saved because Jesus changed his name. Jesus does do that a lot in Scripture, but not in particular for Paul.
Okay. Oh man.
So I'm just glad I at least got you on the one because
All right. This is over.
This is over. You made it.
Okay,
and
good.
you get to remain a member of Mission Church. And we have a free book for you. It's over on the resource shelf.
Yeah,
just
the
pick
Bible?
any one of those books on the resource shelf.
Got it.
You win that prize. All right.
Yes.
So getting into today's topic, it's kind of a hot button issue, but it's very relevant to if not all of us, I feel like nearly all of us, and that is social media. And I want to kind of acknowledge on the offset that this is a part of a deeper conversation about screen time and phones and technology and distraction. But we're going to try our best on this episode to just talk about social media and consider the question, how should Christians engage with social media? And the reason I wanted to have you on the show is just because we've had this conversation a lot lately, and it's been pretty compelling to me. It's made me question a lot. It encouraged it. It actually was one of the reasons that I tried Lent for the first time ever, and I got off social media for Lent. That was huge and helpful. And so as you and I kind of talked, we had this realization that, just like AI frustrates the snot out of me, like it makes me so angry.
Right.
But you pointed this out. Many have pointed this out. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much of a fit I throw. It's here for good for the foreseeable future. And social media is kind of the same. Social media has been here for a long time. It's not going anywhere. But yeah, we want to ask this question. Okay, as it's still here, it's still a part of the world that we live in. How can we engage? And you had let me know that you were off Facebook, permanently. You kind of came back to Instagram. But just recently you told me that you were off it again. And so talk to me a little bit about your decision to get off social media.
Yeah, man, where do I start? I think, I've gone back and forth so many times. Over how many years I've had social media. Facebook, I guess, was the first one that I decided finally, I'm done. And there were a number of reasons. What you see on there, the algorithms, the many, many opinions on everything, not seeing the people that I actually followed, but, seeing advertisements. There are a number of reasons. I think what finally, what was the last straw was basically I got to the point where I was telling Melanie that I don't think I can get off of it. So basically I was at the point where I was like, I can't genuinely answer that question and say, oh yeah, I can get rid of it and it's fine. Like I was at the point where I was like, well, oh no, I need it. Like I need to be on it for whatever reason, marketplace or any number of reasons. But I really got to that point and said that out loud. And I was like,
I can't do without this.
Basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
scary.
Yeah. And so, that coming out of my mouth, I was like, oh, okay.
And I haven't said that sentence, but I live it, like
right.
I mean, how long have we been having this conversation?
Yeah.
And I've said like, oh, I think I'm going to do it. And I'm just like, why haven't I done it yet?
Yeah.
So what were usually the things that were causing you to get onto social media? Like, what are some of the reasons that you would give, like some of the excuses or why would you say like, I can't give it up?
Yeah. I think, I'll answer for Instagram, 'cause that one, I was on that for a long time and then, jumped off for a while, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try it again. There are a lot of good accounts to follow that inspire creativity. And, I had a lot of good reasons to get back on, family members and seeing, pictures of, friends that I don't get to see. So there are a lot of, good excuses and reasons. But then I was on it for a few months and I was like, I didn't really miss it. And I think I was better off without it. For me, it was, I wanted to get on and basically be in any other place than where I was physically. So I was like, I wanted to see what old friends were doing in Colorado or in Cambodia, or friends that were still living in China. And so, my mind and my heart was looking at all of these different areas that I've lived, or we've had community in before. And instead of being physically present, where we are, I was thinking about all those other places. And I mean, bottom line, I wanted to be distracted. I wanted to scroll. I wanted to not think about things.
Yeah, because it's easy to hear what you're saying, and kind of, I mean, the question rolling around the back of my head is like, so?
Yeah.
Like, is it so bad to like see what's going on and
Right.
and see those things? But yeah, I think you're right. I think, most of the time, and one of the prompts for this entire conversation was this book, Scrolling Ourselves to Death. It's a collection of essays from different writers. Brett McCracken is one of them, and he says the internet has become a currency of attention. And he points out another book of his called The Wisdom Pyramid. He points out that most of us do not get on social media with any intention.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
so,
yeah,
I can see like where, even in my own heart, where going on to look for inspiration turns into this just longing for a life other than my own.
Yeah, and Instagram especially, that's what it ended up being. It ended up me following accounts of creative artists, things that I wanted to do or get into, and it ended up being, I'm just looking at pictures and videos of these cool things I could do and then never doing anything. And so my point in getting back on, it was like, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm just scrolling and looking at these cool things.
Yeah, it's I'm feeling a lot of maybe it's not conviction quite yet. Maybe it's just shame of like,
I don't mean
well,
to.
Well, it's kind of twofold. And we've talked about this before too, but at X29 conference this last year, Matt Chandler's talking about the revival that's happening, like the kind of resurgence of Bible cells and younger generations, and like all these good things that God is doing in the world around us. And he posed this question, and I've kind of butchered the question and applied it to maybe areas that he didn't intend to, but he's like, it's going to happen. Do you want to take part in it, or do you want to watch it on YouTube?
Yeah.
And I think about that quote so often, and I thought about it yesterday as we were sitting in our home, and I jokingly said, let's go camping in the rain. And I opened up YouTube and pulled up a channel that I enjoy watching these videos, this guy in Australia, and he just sets up all this really expensive overlanding gear, and it's so pleasant. And I'm just like, but and in all honesty, I don't think that there's obviously nothing wrong with that in and of itself. Of just like, I'm enjoying this channel, it's relaxing. But it does a kind of a twofold thing in my heart of like, I live in North Carolina. Like, why don't I just go camping?
Yeah.
And then on the other side of it, it's like, there is a part of me that like, if I'm battling for contentment and I'm watching, I'm like, oh, that gear is so cool. And he's like, today's video is sponsored by EcoFlow, and it's like this, $1,200 camping battery.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I should make videos so I can get sponsored by EcoFlow. Like, so it becomes this thing of like, and it's sneaky too. It's like, oh man, I kind of want that life. And I feel that way about a ton of people on YouTube that make videos, and so it surely is a battle. So, for you arrived at this decision to like make an exit. Do you think that this is a gospel issue? Do you think that Christians should get off social media?
Man, it's a good question. And I would say I'm not like doing this podcast with you. Like this is a really good conversation. I don't think I came to this podcast with like, here's the definitive answer that I think, because it's a hard one. I don't think there's a quick answer to that question. And I will say on the other side, I wouldn't say it's a you do you kind of thing either. I think there are legitimate concerns, and I think we as believers should take seriously and ask questions about social media consumption or distractions. Period. So I think my answer, very political answer here, diplomatic answer of, I think we as Christians really should ask those hard questions. Why am I using this? Like, what is the purpose? I think that's a big one. So I think there should be engagement with it. There should be we should be asking ourselves, what's the motivation here?
Yeah, because if there was any area of your Christian walk, you're my brother in Christ. If there was any other area of your walk that was just completely unchecked,
right?
Like, that would be a concern.
Yeah.
And so for some reason, social media has become like a sanitized idol in the church.
Yeah.
Like, this one's okay because there's no apparent harm on the offset of it.
Right.
Yeah, that's really good. What would you maybe say if somebody, maybe I don't know why they would ask you this. Maybe they're personally offended at your piety.
No.
What would you say to the argument like, well, I would get off social media, but I don't want to ignore what's happening in the world. Like, I need to know what, current events are happening. And, I feel like if you're off social media, how will you even know what's going on in the world? Like, what would you say to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think with that one, it's pretty easy. Like, I still know what's going on in the world because I listen and pay attention to news. So,
okay.
So, I mean, I think that one is fairly simple to say. Well, I mean, you still can know what's going on in the world. You can read articles. You can see the news still.
But how are you going to spread the word?
Spread the word
about what's going on.
I don't know. It's a good question. What word are you wanting to spread? I mean, I think we're so inundated with information about the whole world at any given moment. I don't think we have the capacity to carry that. We try for some reason, so we get little sound bites from TikTok or whatever, but I don't think we were ever meant to hold all of what's going on in our world,
right?
And how informed we are.
Yeah. In scrolling ourselves to death, they use the phrase, speaking of this generation, including us, so over-informed but underactivated. And they even go so far. One guy, his name is Bill Moyers, he says, Americans seem to know everything about the last 24 hours, but very little of the last 60 centuries. And so we live in this very high-paced information age. Like, all that matters is what's going on today. And then these are the things that everybody should be angry about. And let's blast it out. Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Well, and along those lines too, and we've talked about this a lot, we're so inundated with all that's going on in the world that, I'll speak for myself too. I know so much about what's going on all over the place, but do I know the hurts and the difficulties of my neighborhood or my local community,
right?
Whether it be Morganton or Lenore, and honestly, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I feel like I have more information about what's going on, in Israel, Palestine than I do Burke County.
Yeah.
That's concerning. I don't like that.
Yeah, I made an exit during Lent, and coming back, I didn't announce it or anything like that. And when I came back, I didn't announce it either. No one noticed that I was gone. Mm. And I thought about that a lot because, if I was gone from Mission Church or from Morganton, from this area, if I just disappeared for 40 days, like people would know. Mm-hmm. People would notice.
Yeah. I would, at least.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, it's really had my wheels turning again. It's really had me thinking about things, because I feel like even in the last couple of weeks, there are things that I genuinely want. They're good things that I want in my life. Like I would like to get in better shape. I would like to, and my algorithm knows that.
Yeah.
And so what ends up happening is I see all this like extra pressure constantly, because it's advertisement,
Right.
And so it's stirring in me a lot of unease, but I feel the same thing of being over-informed and underactivated. Because I'm just like, yeah, I really need to do that.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, next video.
Right. Well, and just the other night, so just to be completely vulnerable, I was on my wife's Facebook because I was looking at Marketplace. so I don't have Facebook, but I was looking at hers, and there were so many advertisements for like workout programs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm like, which one is right?
Yeah.
Which one should I do? And so what
and
happens
I need to do one.
Yeah, I got to do one.
Yeah.
And so I end up really doing nothing.
And there's no one to please either.
Yeah.
But it feels like there is.
Right.
And I think that's what I was kind of getting at just now when I said no one noticed I was gone, is like it becomes this like little imaginary world where you like think you're on the stage, but everybody thinks that. Mm-hmm. And everybody's hurting and none of it's real. And so it's just like it's really hard because it's like you feel like, okay, I've got to impress them, and everyone is thinking I've got to impress them. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where I want to kind of steer the rest of this conversation, mm-hmm. is kind of twofold, like using this question as a springboard. Is there a redemptive way to use social media anymore? Because that used to be like the big argument back in the day, was like, this is the town square, the digital square, if you will, the public, this is the arena where mm-hmm. we should have these conversations and stuff. And if it's not a gospel issue, it's like, well, how then do we navigate it through the lens of the gospel? Is that even possible?
Man. And that is the question, and I won't even pretend to have like the answer here. Man, I would say, and we've talked about this too. I would say can I come up with an example where social media has been a benefit to the spreading of the good news? What?
I can actually, but it makes me laugh. The reason I start laughing so hard is because like we've talked about that a lot as well, that like there is zero studies that every new study that comes out about social media is like, it's worse than ever. Like it's bad. It's nothing so far as be like social media has improved this mental health thing. Right. It's always just like,
exactly.
Teens are devastatingly despaired and everybody's depressed.
Yeah.
But no, I do think of things like Wes Huff. Mm-hmm. If you don't know who Wes Huff is, look him up on YouTube. Mm-hmm. He did a debate video with a relatively famous atheist debater, mm-hmm. and it blew up so much so that Joe Rogan caught wind of it. And now what ends up happening is Wes Huff is on all of these podcasts mm-hmm. with like non-believing people defending the Bible and mm-hmm. sharing the gospel. So that's awesome.
Right.
But I think my question would then go back to like what Matt Chandler says is like, do you want to participate in it or do you want to watch it on YouTube?
Right. Well, you would have that question from Matt Chandler. And then my question also would be, am I on social media just watching a bunch of Wes Huff videos only? Is that the content that I'm genuinely consuming most of the time?
Yeah.
And someone might be able to answer yes, but I would almost guarantee no.
Right.
Like, do you see that in your scrolling when you're distracted and you're scrolling for like 3 hours? Yeah, probably. That's probably one of the videos that pops up for like 3 seconds, and you're like, oh, that's cool, and scroll on to the next one. Oh, puppy.
Well, yeah, if I'm in the mood to laugh,
Yeah.
and my feed gives me like and we can get into all kinds of side tangents about how it's called a feed.
Yeah.
But it'll pop a John Piper video in there, and I'm like, not right now. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm just trying to like have a good time.
So in that same breath, when I think about that, I think about a John Piper video or something that is content that is very good, right alongside the funny cat video. Like, it's equating all these things. It's putting them in the same category.
Yeah.
Like, I start looking at all of them as equal in my head. Like, that's worthy of this type of attention, short form content.
What's interesting about that too, I'm going to keep referencing it. Scrolling Ourselves to Death actually talks about kind of the way these short form video algorithms are built exactly like a slot machine.
Mm-hmm.
So in Vegas, the slot machines are at the front of the building, and they are pre-programmed to win a set amount of times per day to draw people in. Like, that's the whole point. It's like a quick return on your investment of time.
Yeah.
And so they started making short form content video algorithms the same way. And so, like me, I'm scrolling, and I'm pulling the hammer down to see what I get. And then when you get a funny video, it's like you feel like you won. And it'll feed you like 2 more funny videos. And you're like, oh, man, I'm really on a streak. Yeah. And then you get to a video that you don't like, and it feels like you lost. And then you have to scroll like 10 more videos, and all of it is designed to do an underlying thing that you're not even paying attention to, and that is to keep you on there.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. But I love what you're saying about how it's in a very subtle way, in a very terrifyingly subtle way, it's kind of equating all these things in your head of like, this is what I do when
it's
I'm
all mine.
When I'm distracted.
It's all for me to consume.
Yeah.
Like, and then theology and like little bits of theology, it becomes this is my thing. It's for my consumption. And someone, in the millions of listeners that we have on the sending.
Yeah, we've got,
someone's going to be like
3 million, I think this
week. Yeah. Right. We just passed 3 million. Someone's going to say, well, I was saved because I heard something on TikTok. I'll be like, awesome. Still doesn't convince me TikTok's great.
Right.
But I'm so glad that the Lord used that in that one moment. That's awesome. But
yeah, and it's hard to come at any of this with the argument of like, well, I've seen good examples or where I've seen. So here's the big kind of takeaway question from all of this. And we'll get to the sending here in a second, but to kind of wrap this whole conversation up, it kind of becomes a thing of like, so what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
And that's the question I'm asking myself. And I don't think it would be wise, like you said earlier, you gave your very political answer. I'm kind of giving the same political answer of like, should I get off social media as a Christian? Definitely, maybe. Possibly. At the very least, I think there's a pretty profound call on us to consider what we are giving our time to.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up this scripture because I
have
some other verses, but I want one that just came to mind.
Yeah, what we're giving our time to. I think that's what I would want from this is, are we asking some of those good questions of ourselves? Are we asking, what am I giving my time to? What's shaping me? And what am I distracting myself from? I look at my kids and I'm like, well, they don't know how to be bored. I'm like, well, I don't either. And I'm trying to find anything I can to fill that void, to fill that space.
Yeah. Yeah, and that makes me think of a video that I saw very recently, and the irony of that is not lost on me, but of this guy staring at a wall, and it was like
Mm.
time lapse, and it's like board maxing. I'm like, that shouldn't be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
One more completely distracted moment that I just have to share, because you shared honestly earlier that you were on Facebook. It's like it made me chuckle in my head because I was tidying up the notes for this episode, and it prompted me in my head. I was like, oh, I need to turn my brick schedule back on. I turned it off for some actually valid reason, and then I never turned it back on.
Yeah.
And I open up my phone to turn my brick schedule on. If you haven't heard me talk about Brick, it's a physical device that locks me out of all the distracting apps.
Not a sponsor of this video.
It's not a sponsor, but wouldn't it be cool if it was? And like 4.5 minutes later, I got out of Instagram, and I was like, why am I on my phone again? It's bad, man.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
All right. So as we kind of wrap this conversation up,
Yeah.
it might be a little bit hard that we haven't given any kind of clear landing spot of like, should you, shouldn't you? Let me just read this from Ephesians chapter 5. Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. I've heard it said before that we have not been given time to kill. We've been given time to redeem. And so
That's good.
I think that would be my big challenge for myself personally. We've kept this conversation specifically on social media itself, but you and I talked about this at some point that like even during Lent, it's like I was still on my phone. I was still finding distractions, whether it was, playing dumb games or just.
Yeah. And that's definitely something I want to clarify too. Like for me, getting off of Facebook, Instagram that's really good, but I can easily be distracted on something else. And so it's a constant battle. So
the point of this episode is not to say like you need to be like Wes, or it's not even to necessarily give that directive of like what I wanted to do in having this conversation was to make us pause and think, how am I redeeming the time with my use of social media right now? A couple other nuggets that I just want to kind of put before you as we ask the question, what sort of effect does this have as we are on mission? I would ask you, first and foremost, like, what is the content that you are sharing? Is it, like, what is the motivation behind it? Who is it for? Who are you trying to glorify as you post things, as you share things out? Rather than giving, I had some suggestions on here, but I'm just going to leave that to conversations that we can have in public. If you're watching this episode on the way to work, maybe, spark up a conversation with somebody and have those talks about like, what are some things that you do that help you kind of redeem that time rather than being sucked in by it and just, using it as a means of escape.
Yeah.
Just a couple verses to consider. First, being mindful and intentional about what you are putting before your eyes. And so as you're thinking about social media, as you're thinking about just hopping on real quick, have a scroll, consider Psalm 119, 33 through 37. Teach me, O Lord, the way of your statutes, and I will keep it to the end. Give me understanding that I may keep your law and observe it with my whole heart. Lead me in the path of your commandments, for I delight in it. Incline my heart to your testimonies, and not to selfish gain. Turn my eyes from looking at worthless things, and give me life in your ways. Luke chapter 11, verses 33 through 36 says, no one, after lighting a lamp, puts it in a cellar or under a basket, but on a stand, so that those who enter may see the light. Your eye is the lamp of your body. When your eye is healthy, your whole body is full of light. But when it is bad, your body is full of darkness. Therefore, be careful, lest the light in you be darkness. If your whole body is full of light, having no part having no part dark, it will be wholly bright, as when a lamp with its rays gives you light. So I share that verse just to kind of reiterate this thought of like, if my entire existence, if what validates me is that I'm a son of God, I'm a child of God, a son or a daughter, then everything that is an outpouring of that should be the result of that. Everything should be a result of praise and gratitude to God. And so how does that translate to social media? Please consider that before just hopping on. Please consider that before posting. Is that the message that you are sharing? Is it light, or is it just one of the thousands of voices or hundreds of voices that's saying, be mad about this, be mad about that? When you are crying out about injustice, are you pointing other people to the only hope for injustice?
Yeah.
Or are you just, again, one of the many voices? And before you post anything, specifically a status or an opinion or anything, I would ask you to consider Proverbs 25:11. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in a setting of silver. And the idea is that is to take the time to consider what you're saying. I feel like that's the other kind of danger of social media, of everybody having their own platform, is we are just like type, hammer, fire away, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Any other thoughts before we wrap up here?
I mean, if you're posting about an awesome restaurant, that's totally fine.
I actually agree with that. Well, hey everybody, we hope this conversation has been helpful, thought-provoking. Again, none of this was meant to be kind of a end-all be-all script of this is what you should do. So please don't hear that. And if you shut the episode off, 10 minutes in because you thought that's what that was, I guess somebody else that knows you will say, hey, you should have listened to the whole thing. We really just wanted to give a challenge, but also an encouragement of like, man, go meet your neighbors, go learn about the place that God has put you in, and love those around you, have those conversations, and be boldly on mission for Christ's kingdom. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for listening to or watching The Sending. This podcast is produced by Mission Church in Morganton, North Carolina. Music for this podcast is licensed through Soundstripe. If you'd like more information about this episode, or if you're interested in learning more about Mission Church, you can visit the show's page at missionchurchnc.com/thesending.